Disco X on the line, just as I suspected. No one really gets over me. I'm unaffected. Why would you try to ever put me second? You're just another groupie to me. No, I'm out here single, and I need some real. Now I got standards. Give a fuck how you feel. I'm out here single. Tell me what's the deal. Now I got standards. Give a fuck how you feel.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Excited to have you with us right here on the Betting News Network. This is your afternoon Betspresso, and Owen, me too. I feel like a bad bitch every time that song plays as well. Excited to have you with us. Thanks for stopping by right here on the channel. That is Master B Sauce. That is Danny Burke. My name is Sweatpants Jesus. Boys, happy Monday. How we doing? Goats are muted. Goats are so muted. Mute counter at 1 for a minute.
You're good, right? I'm live here. You got me coming through.
I got you, DB. We got you, DB.
Beautiful.
You can go. Beautiful. Go ahead. You can we'll put B last since he muted himself. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Coincidentally enough, I didn't even know I had that. I got a little iced coffee in my Bears glass right here. I swear that wasn't intentional, but I'm doing better because of the Bears. So, can't complain. 2 Monday night games, little World Series action, which I know we'll get into, and hey, we got hoops right around the corner, baby. So excited. Yeah. Great week ahead.
Hell yeah, dude.
The iced coffee on Victory Monday out of the Bears cup just hits a little bit better, doesn't it? I love it.
Yeah, I'm not used to it, V. This is uncharted territory, man.
Don't worry, man. We all had to sweat our asses off yesterday, even with the Packers and the Cardinals. My God, that got close at the end there. Like I was a mess. I was a mess. My wife was not happy about it, but I was at the end of it, all okay.
Feeling good. Feeling better. It was a crazy Sunday yesterday. We are going to talk about Week 7, but as DV said, we've got a huge game tonight, Game 7 in the ALCS. We got Mr. Marcio making an appearance here on Betspresso in just a minute to give you guys the moves in Toronto tonight, as one of those two teams looks to face off with the Dodgers in the World Series. And then, as you guys mentioned, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. One of my new favorite segments we do on the show. We're going to talk about Week 7 a little bit more, give you guys some teams that we thought were good, some teams we thought that were bad, and some teams that we thought were just downright nasty in Week 7 of the NFL. And then we're going to jump in and talk about the 2 games in Monday Night Football. 2 good ones, boys. We're going to talk about them a little bit later with you guys right here on the channel. Thanks for stopping by. If you're watching us on YouTube, on Twitch, or on X, wherever you guys are consuming this content. Whoa, Kira, welcome back. Let's go.
Kira, how you doing? NBC is back, man. Right?
Hey, man. Basketball is right around the corner. We got NBA returning tomorrow. College basketball for all you CBB stickos is right around the corner, too. It's a great time to be alive. It's the best time of year, in my opinion. Weather outside is a little crispy. The leaves are starting to crunch, boys. We absolutely love to see it. And, Danny, just to let you know, this is Kira / her name is not Kira because it's actually not a girl. It's a guy using his girlfriend's account, our homie Kira. That's what he told us last year, and I would just assume that's the case. So
fair enough. Well, nice to get the introduction, Kira / not Kira, but hey, happy to have you here regardless.
Oh, yeah. We missed you, too. Glad to have you back. Yeah, both of these guys are going to be doing some scribbles for you guys in the NBA. Obviously, there's some MVP, some MIP, some award stuff out there at bettingnews.com. Go peep those scribs and get involved with all the content. And we got 2 games tomorrow, boys. We got Sook is already spamming the DMs with all the different plays he has locked in. Yeah, we have Sauce Team tomorrow. We'll have Sauce Team tomorrow in honor of the season starting. We'll have Sauce Team Wednesday. We'll be back to 2 times a week sauciness as we get into the NBA. And yes, Allie, congratulations. The Patriots won today. Well done. Thank you. Good job. It was always the Pats. I bet on it because of the show, and I regretted throwing that unit away. But that's how it is. It's how we rock and roll.
Yeah. Hey, man, sometimes when someone just gets so confident in fading your team, you got to hop on the other side. And I saw the segment with Adam and his confidence level in that Patriots pick. And yes, it panned out. myself included, I had the Pats as my survivor pick. But my God, sometimes you got to just stand on business, and it's unfortunate they didn't come through for you.
V, how many entries do you have left in Survivor?
Two entries. Yeah. And
Okay.
so far the last 2 weeks I've rolled with the same team in both entries. Just kind of like a team that I like. I'm trying to be safe a little bit with the Pats this week, and I can't remember who it was last week, but it was a sweaty one, but we got there.
Yeah, I got one left, and in the contest that I'm in, we had to pick 2 teams this week. So I was going to do the Chiefs and the Bears, and last second, because you're talking about, like Adam was just incredibly confident with his Patriots. That's how I ended up being heading into kickoff for the Browns-Dolphins game. So I actually went Browns and Chiefs for my 2 picks. I survive another week. I think we got about 400 people left in it, but it's getting sweaty there. So I'm still saving my Bears to break my heart a little bit later in the season, inevitably.
There was someone that took the Browns in my pool too, and then obviously hindsight is 2020, but after the fact, I'm sitting there, I'm just like, you sharp motherfucker. So Danny, with you sharp motherfucker.
Knows what's up.
SPJ and I were all over the Judkins play, rushing yards, anytime touchdown. Dude got 3, and then the Browns money line. I mean, the weather was a perfect storm. And also, fam, shout out Iowa money line. I live bet the money line. You were right. You called that. I took them 2.5 too, and that stupid 66-yard field goal that resulted in a Penn State touch. Sorry, I won't get into it. Just Kirk Ferentz being an idiot, but whatever. Iowa came through. So
that's what matters. I will say, Danny, thanks for the Judkins shout out. The touchdown was air. You hope you bet the 2 and the 3, but his yards actually did not hit. Surprise! Shocking.
Did not? Oh my! I just assumed it hit. That's my
I know. I did too.
Wow.
I thought that was chalk that up as a dub, and then he had like
crazy.
86 or something. His line was 93.5. I mean, it was.
He didn't get utilized through the air as much as you would think. That was the kind of problem there, because he just kept getting these short fields again and again. Miami kept turning the ball over.
True.
Oh, we're going to talk about that game. I want to talk about that one in a little bit. But as I mentioned, we got a huge game on the diamond tonight. I don't want to keep Mr. Marcio waiting too long. So chat, you guys are going to see this intro a lot over the next week, but then it's going to go on the shelf for a little while. So get used to it while it happens. Let's get him up here with the stash. Bet you guys haven't seen this on a Monday. Mr. Marcio, welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
Hey! I took the wrong turn in Albuquerque and I got here. How we doing?
Fantastic. Glad to have you here. Your boy, the lovely sport that you love and everybody loves you for is one of the biggest stories of the night tonight. So we got you on a Monday. We love to see it. I know you talked about it earlier on Up Your Units with Mr. Shaggles, but excited to have you here to talk all about this game tonight. Before we jump into it and all the bets, all the bets that you have, I know you have quite a few. I'm very excited to hear you talk about a couple of them. Overall, what do you kind of think about this series as a whole, and what do you think about this game tonight?
I think this series has been everything and more that we could have dreamed of. I mean, I was hoping the Brewers and Dodgers series was a little bit better than it was, and I know Danny's Cubs fans, they really went out of their way to victory lap that, and I was very ticked off and offended by that. Just as a fan of sports, I found it completely pathetic. No offense to Danny's Cubs fans and his best friends over there on the north side, but this series itself, actually the overall postseason, we've been absolutely spoiled. It's been perfect. I don't have any complaints. Sure, my team got bounced by the team that's potentially going to make the World Series. Hopefully, they hope, and I don't care. Honestly, as somebody that covers the sport, it's a lot easier for me to cover the sport when I don't have to have my heart involved, even though I was sweeping with those Yankee props, the futures with Aaron Judge's batting average and Carlos Rodon's ERA. May have been the easiest bets I've ever made of the entire season, but I can't believe the Blue Jays were able to dig themselves out of it and make a push for a Game 7. I'm very interested to see how the Mariners come out tonight, because last night they came out flatter than my ass and they got big ass over there named Cal Raleigh. I don't expect that to happen once again, but anything can happen. I mean, is the moment too big for either team? You got to think about it. One team's never got past this hump. The other team hasn't been there since Michael Jordan was in his prime, or if you want to use the analogy that I used earlier today, before my parents were married. So it's a really tough time for both teams.
Kobe, you were getting so fucking amped for this game. Like, I cannot tell
awesome.
you. I've been sitting here quietly in secret, just hoping that the Blue Jays could pull themselves out of that fucking hole they dug themselves into after dropping the first 2 games at home in a series that is 2-3-2. My God. Oh my God.
It's awesome.
Now I'm sitting here, game 7, and as a true and true dumper bumper, it is so hard to cheer against this guy time and time again now. Because I love him, but Vladdy, he is
it's like chess versus ass right now. And even though Vladdy doesn't really have like that, it's just like you're an ass guy, but today you're not really an ass guy.
Like, who's the last guy that got paid $500 million besides Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, and then comes out and puts on for his team like this? Like, these are the big questions Vladdy needed to fucking answer. Can he show up at a time like this? And I'm so fucking nervous, but like this is what it's all about with baseball, right here, Game 7.
To those people wondering, or if you lean with Vladdy, if you lean with the Blue Jays tonight, I advise you not taking the money line because you can find a better price. And that price is taking Vladimir Guerrero's MVP at -110. If it's still out there, take it. I think the Blue Jays are still -130 on the money line. There is honestly somewhat of an argument that Vladdy should win it even if they lose this series, which I doubt. I wrote about it because I was passionate about this take. And if you're someone who's wondering, well, I like the Mariners tonight, do I just take their money line? Yes, but if you want a bigger, juicy number, the person I wrote about was Josh Naylor. He's just the most consistent hitter in that lineup. And if you look at the odds, it's Suarez and Raleigh. Suarez and Raleigh are 2 of the highest K percentage guys in that lineup, and they're very inconsistent. Naylor has been in every single game almost this series and this postseason. Vladdy and Naylor have showed up for each of their squads. I would respectfully, if you liked one side or another, I would say go that direction. But I didn't bet this. So just an FYI, I did not bet this because I bet this instead. I took this as soon as it opened the last night. The Blue Jays' first 5-team total over. They have 1 elite, 3 great rated hitters today on Batters-Box, taking on George Kirby, who in their last game, they torched them 8 hits, 8 runs, 3 home runs in 4 innings pitched. Kirby in his last 5 road games has a 5.40 ERA, 5.08 expected ERA, 146 whip, allowing 50% hard contact, 11.4% barrel rate. Those hitters have a 321 expected batting average, 502 x slugging, 363 x WOBA. Last 30 righties faced. Why am I mentioning righties? Because 3 of the top 5 hitters tonight will be batting from the right side for the Blue Jays. Kirby owns a 7.71 ERA, 7.46 expected ERA, nearly 60% hard contact. Those hitters have a 491 expected batting average. You heard me, 491, 975 expected slugging, and a 428. Now, if you wanted me to mention, well, what about those lefties, last 30 lefties faced? What if I told you those numbers were very similar? Didn't write them out because they're that similar. So I think the Blue Jays tonight in the first 5-team total over is a safe play. I've been paying the juice all postseason. It's not about the price. It's about the 1.5. It's a gift. I don't care if I lose tonight. If it's under -180, we're getting a fantastic price. If it's 2.5, that's a different story, and that's a completely different argument there. But anything below a 2.5 is a gift, in my opinion, and something I'm going to wait to take until after his first at bat. Is Vladimir Guerrero to get a walk tonight? I think he gets walked. If it happens right away, then I'm not going to touch it like I just missed out. I don't want to pay. I gave it out on my article this morning. It was -110. It went up to 120. I don't want to pay $1.20 juice. I can just hope to get it live. Also, would like to add something that I benefited from yesterday. Hypothetical. We're living in a hypothetical land, not Jerry's land, hypothetical land. If Vladdy, God forbid, hits a home run tonight, please remember to bet the next at bat walk and also double down on the actual over half walk. Because one, some books void the bet if he's intentionally walked, while if he does just get walked, like if you do the normal walk bet, they pay you out for that one. And you just have to know what books pay out for certain things. Like yesterday, I bet right away after Vladdy homered, I took the next at bet, walk, hit by pitch. I lucked into him getting hit by a pitch and cashed tremendously, and it was an awesome night, even though that does not count towards his actual walk prop at over a half. So just keep that in mind. He's one of the deadliest bats in this lineup. I don't expect them to throw to him in a Game 7 where they could literally screw themselves right off the get-go.
Oh, go ahead, SPJ, if you got something.
I was just gonna say, you guys can see these guys talked about this on OP Units earlier, so we're borrowing their graphics, and I'm showing you guys the odds on the winners of the series as we sit right now, which will lead into Colby's next bet, which I'm sure you want to talk about a little bit more.
Go ahead, Danny. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just had a couple comments and then a question. I love what you're saying about Vlad Guerrero to win ALCS MVP. I mean, we see this all the time, especially in the NBA, where it's like, all right, you could take this team, but 99 times out of 100, if this team wins, that guy's going to win X award and you're getting the better price. Outstanding
100%. Call
up by you. And I love that you're sticking to your guns with your first 5 runs bets. I love it. And probably going to be tailing you on that. And, you know, I'm curious your thoughts about a little bit of like the intangibles in a sense. Like we see it in sports a lot of times, whether it's in a game or in a series, I feel like, where a team such as the Blue Jays in this situation kind of crawling out of the depths, right? You talk about like exuding so much energy to come back and get in it. And then a lot of times then they falter when it gets to that final stage. Do you kind of foresee that being the case here with Toronto? Because and I know it's different with the postseason and with Major League Baseball, but like think about football, for example. If a team's down like 3 scores, they come back, it goes overtime. Oh, that overtime, where underdogs and unders go to die. Like you took so much to get there and then you fall short. Like, do you kind of think that's a similar thing potentially with the Blue Jays?
Talk about a tee-up job by Danny Burke over here. Well, I just want to say, like, that my ideology for the MVP thing, it's kind of like people with when the Chiefs are favored and you're like, oh, in the Super Bowl, oh, I'll take Patrick Mahomes plus money to win the MVP. It's that type deal, that type of ideology. But to your point and your question, is it? I want to say one thing about the Blue Jays. Their whole identity is we're the underdogs. Like they have been at the depths of like sorrows. The beginning of the season, they were just like, oh, it's just the typical Blue Jays. Then they crawled themselves out of that. They're just so damn gritty and they're so likable, unlike that team in Seattle that I cannot stand. And I cannot stand them. But to your question, I think whoever comes out of the AL, and we've had this conversation a million times, we don't trust who's coming out of the AL. And now with this game going 7 games, both teams playing a ton of games, those bullpens are beyond taxed, beyond. And those arms are in spots they've never been before. Remember, these teams have never been in this spot. And I don't think any of these guys have been this far in the postseason. So these arms are just tired. Meanwhile, the team on the other side is cruising. That is correct. That is 9.5 units on the Dodgers to win the World Series. I took this on Friday night, and I don't think it's an egregious bet whatsoever. Be responsible, bet what you can. I'm not afraid to lose this bet because, one, I get a 7-game series cushion, and I just think the Dodgers are far and away the best team in baseball, and I cannot see any team that comes out of the AL tonight stopping this freight train. One, the pitching has only gotten better, in my opinion, as the series has gone on. Who is stopping this team? I could see them losing a game or two. I don't see them losing 4 games. I simply cannot, and it'll be interesting to see how well what other AL team comes out of this game tonight, how well they perform, and also the spot. Like the Toronto's going to stay at home if they win tonight, while they'll be in LA if the Mariners win, because that's just how it's going to be. I don't know what to expect. I can see the Blue Jays going down 2-2 again if they win tonight because of how gassed they're going to be. This is a massive series. This is an emotional hump for both teams. And then they have to go and take on a team that's been there time and time again and, won it last year.
I talked to him about this chat before we got started, and I couldn't believe it was 9.5 units. Is this the biggest bet you've ever placed individually?
Ever bet. Yep. 100%. Yep.
Wow. Holy.
And anyone that's like, well, why is it that big? I couldn't justify 2-3 and being like, yeah, I won 2-3 units minus 185. I was like, let me make this worth my while and just put my money where my mouth is, because Danny knows this. I've been saying all year long that it's whoever comes out of the NL, and I haven't found a team that I liked. As soon as I found out who I liked, I was in the market for it, and any other number that I was looking at on Friday was minus 220, and now that you just saw it's minus 240 on some books, that's not an insane number to me.
Is there a reason why you did the 9.5 and not the full 10? Is there a reason for that?
I didn't think I was doing a full 9.5 until I did the math. That was why.
Okay. You just kept putting units on it.
I wanted a round number while covering the 185, and I was like, I'll just throw that in there. And then I did the math, and I was like, oh, people are definitely like, why didn't you just add an extra 0.5? I could have, but now the number's gone.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not going to get minus 185 anymore.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Well,
Go
Warriors, indeed. Before you get out of here, from the Plums, who do you think wins this game tonight?
The Jays.
Yes, thank God. Oh my God.
And I think I can happily be wrong with that too. Like I would be impressed if the Mariners came out after looking terrible yesterday. Now, statistic wise, of what I was looking at, Shane Bieber fading Bieber tonight is probably a good move as well. Honestly, the first 5 over isn't a bad play if you're very I just want runs. So that's up to you. Taking the Mariners first 5 team total over isn't a bad one either. I don't know what the price is. Actually, let me look, because I know they had the half, which is delectable in my opinion, even though it's probably not worth taking. Where am I at? Crap. There we go. Hold on. I'll be there in a sec.
It's okay.
Mariners total runs a half. Don't pay that. 1.5 is $1.15.
Wow.
So take the first 5 over if you're like, I don't know. He gave out everything.
Well, good thing is, chat, you guys can go read the scribbles as always at bettingnews.com. Colby's going to have plays throughout the entire World Series, although you know that he's going to be riding the are you going to be emotionally hedging every game on just hoping the Dodgers
No, I probably won't even hedge. Even though like I said, this is the biggest bet I ever made. I can happily lose it. I won't be mad.
I mean, the good thing is, even if it goes to 7 games, the Dodgers are realistically going to be favored in every single game. So if you needed to, you could potentially
100%.
hedge. So
yeah,
that's the nice part.
I think, honestly, I understand hedging if it's a season long, but if it's something you only got to wait a week or so, let that sucker ride. Because you're not going to, who cares? You bet it to win or lose.
Right.
So that's the
you're
way
going. Yeah, I mean, and that's also why probably you're going outright instead of, say, laying the series spread type of thing. Because, the potential to go 7 games, but still in that 7th game, you have the edge with the Dodgers when it's all said and done. So, yeah, I hear you.
I thought about doing that as well. I should have mentioned that. I just didn't want to wait and then it be some stupid number like minus 1.5 for $1.15. I don't want to pay that. I don't want to pay that just for it to go the distance.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be a shitty way to lose, especially with a big wager versus just a regular unit or two.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, go follow Colby. You guys probably are already. Thanks for stopping by on a Monday, dude. Enjoy the game tonight. I know you'll be watching this, not Monday Night Football.
Lions over, by the way. Lions over. Lions game over.
Yeah.
If you need a side, it's the Bucks. Everyone's on the Lions, and I just want to fade them.
And you love Baker Mayfield.
If you looked at the Lions coming off a loss, they're really good against the spread. Yeah, I can look that up too.
I got a real quick bet before we let you go that I want you to tail.
Yeah.
Jared Goff over a half of rushing yard, plus 120.
What? Oh, God. All right, I'll look into it.
Yep.
Damn it.
Have a gander.
That's so delicious. That's so delicious.
It's grody, but it's hitting.
What? How about we do his longest rush?
Oh my God! It's probably 2.5.
quarter of a yard.
I did. Well, I'll talk about it later. But there you go. All right, dude. Thanks for stopping by, man. Enjoy the Monday. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy it. Go catch Colby all this week, all on the pickoff, talking all about the World Series and everything on Up Your Units. Appreciate you, dude.
See you guys.
Bye. Love it.
I guess I'm fired up for baseball. I love it.
Hey, man. He's one of the few people that can get you wanting to bet some baseball. And I know, chat, you guys love betting baseball with that man right there. Yeah, fun game. I know, V, you've been invested emotionally because it's your squad. And Danny, you've been following. You're going to be on the pickoff with Mr. Marcio tomorrow, talking about probably what happened in this game and then previewing a little bit more of the World Series. Before we get to moving on from baseball, football stuff, BB, did you have any thoughts on this game tonight?
I'm with Colby here. I lean toward these Blue Jays. I mean, I'm trying to keep a little bias out of it. Like Colby and I have been on the same train of like just being anti-Seattle because we're, pretty heavy on the whole Aaron Judge MVP thing. But still, at the end of the day, it's like this Mariners team, I still think does have its flaws. I know their offense has come alive at the right time. And kind of the, example I use where you see a lot of these teams dig out of the depths and then come back to the end and fall victim. Like that does scare me a little bit, but I've thought for a while, like most people, that the Blue Jays have been the most talented roster. And I think it's not one thing to just make it this far in the series and climb out of it, but the punishment that they put on them in the last game, it wasn't just like an easy win, right? I mean, they just absolutely crushed it. So I think that momentum's certainly going to carry over here. And obviously having the home field advantage with that raucous Toronto crowd will definitely benefit them. So, I lean a little bit toward Toronto, but I think what Colby said about Vlad for ALCS MVP would be the smart way to go about it.
Yeah, you get an extra 20 cents of value for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see that Austin Matthews walked in with Vladdy walked in with an Austin Matthews jersey on?
I did not. That's awesome.
It feels awesome until you understand what it's like to be a Leafs fan. Like, I'm not a Leafs fan, but like I've seen my friends go fucking through it over the last few seasons. So
that's true. That's true.
If you're a Leafs fan, you either love it or you fucking hate it, and you're now just sitting there waiting for the game.
This too.
Okay. Well, that's a little.
Although maybe he's trying to break the juju. He's been awesome. He has been the reason why the Blue Jays are here right now. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, there's some.
You gotta love it.
Sure. Absolutely. ALCS Game 7, looking to a trip to tango with them Dodgers in the World Series. World Series Game 1 on Friday. Mr. Marcio will be covering it all week long. As you see, he's already emotionally and very heavily financially invested in the Dodgers as well. All right, guys, let's swing and talk football. We're going to play the good, the bad, the ugly. Chat. Let us know what you guys think. Who was good for you this weekend? Who was bad for you this weekend? And who was just downright disgustingly ugly? Sauce Man, go first. Who's your good? Who's your bad? And who is your ugly?
Man, my good. It's the Rams. I know that it was the Jaguars. By no means is this team anything insane, but the secondary has been good all season. And not just that, but I don't know if you guys saw this. The Rams, I think, got there on like 24 hours to London. Yeah. Right? They got there like 24 hours before their game, landed, kicked ass, got on a plane, and went home. This team's humming. No Puka Nacua, no problems. Devontae Adams with 3 fucking touchdowns. The offense just looks absolutely elite. Stafford looks great, and I'm loving everything that I'm seeing. As a guy who is also cheering for a team in the NFC, I don't love it so much, but DA and Stafford are 2 guys that I've just loved to watch their entire career, and watching them thrive in a Sean McVay offense is a lot of fun. So the Rams.
As it's somebody that's my side piece, it's one of those moments where you can just kind of go, yeah, I'm proud of them. They're doing good. Feeling good about them. That was mine too. I'll find another one in a minute. Who's your bad?
My bad. I'm going to have to throw it to the Steelers. They were bad this week, and they've been giving up a shit ton of points. I know that their record maybe doesn't kind of reflect them being a bad team, but I really think that they need to start, kind of handling business on the defensive side. You're paying almost $200 million in contracts on that side. You have Jalen Ramsey, Joey Porter, and you have, I can't remember who the third guy. Oh, Darius Slay. I know that Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey are like way past their prime, but they have still, they've been good over the last couple of years. Darius Slay won a Super Bowl last season. I think that this is a team that is really going to have to compete, but if they're going to do that, defensively, you have to be better. They put up a shit ton of points against Cincinnati, but what happened? Joe Flacco did exactly what he wanted. Jamar Chase had his highest target share of his career, 26 targets. I just don't know what else to say. At some point, you have to look over there and be like, what are we doing? And I don't know if you guys saw that clip of Jamar asking who the best cornerbacks in the league are before the season started. And he lists Jalen Ramsey, Porter, and then Darius Slay. He cooked every single one in the same game. Like, come on, Steelers, you got to do better than that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting a Thursday night football poll. All right, so Steelers are bad. And then who's just ugly?
The ugliest team on the week, the ugliest team on the year is the team that took and only had a NFL history low 30 offensive plays. The Las Vegas Raiders are absolute dog shit. They could not generate first downs. Forget about a sustained drive. Getting the ball 10 yards was almost next to impossible. They ran 30 offensive plays, boys. That is the lowest ever run in an NFL game by an actual NFL offense. Whether it's Pete Carroll, whether it's Geno Smith, I have no idea. I know the Chiefs defense has been fantastic this year, better than in some years past, but 30 offensive plays. Pat Mahomes was sitting in the fourth quarter. He was on some NBA shit, boys. So, yeah.
Load management. He's getting ready for the start of the NBA season, baby.
Bye-bye, Raiders. I'm out. You guys wasted a third-round pick on Geno Smith. You brought back an aging Pete Carroll. The team doesn't look good. You might have to blow it up after just one fucking year.
Honestly, facts. I mean, the Brock Bowers injury has really hurt that team's chemistry. Jacoby Myers apparently didn't play this week, and he might be on the trade block soon. Yeah, lots of ugliness in Vegas, unfortunately. That was a good one. I didn't expect you to pull the Raiders. Okay. All right, DB, swing it. Talk some good. Who are you liking?
All right, this may be my one chance to do it. The good is going to my Chicago Bears. Now, I appreciate the support, V. And before anybody here freaks out in the chat, this is just for this week specifically. I'm not saying anything long-term with them. They're probably going to get their butts kicked in next week with Lamar Jackson coming back. But hear me out. SBJ, we talked about this on Any Given Wager on Friday. As crazy as it may seem with a Saints team that's now 1-6, this was a pretty decent litmus test for Chicago because the Saints, say what you want about them, Spencer Rattler had this team playing pretty competitively in their defense. While now metrically they're getting worse and worse, this was the stronger side of their play. But look at these numbers. I mean, the Bears had 23 first downs compared to the Saints 16. Total yards 386 for Chicago compared to the Saints 253. Yards per play 5.8 compared to 4.8. Now this is a Bears defense that was allowing 6.7 yards per play, the worst in the NFL 2 weeks ago. Stepped up against the Commanders, did it once again in bear weather. 222 rushing yards compared to 44 on the other side. That was the worst run defense in the NFL, taking a step forward. And time of possession over 36 minutes compared to 23 minutes for the Saints. 4 turnovers compared to 1. Dennis Allen revenge game. The Bears stepped up, covered when they needed to. And when things got a little dicey, they still kept their foot on the pedal. They still got the stops they needed. So the Bears are good for this week. Thoughts, gentlemen, on that selection?
I'm muted again, but I like it. I like that. I think the thing that frustrates me, and the thing that kind of scares me a little bit with the Bears is as the team is getting better, the run game is developing. Swift is playing his best football. The defense is looking a lot better. They're getting stops, forcing turnovers. But Caleb Williams hasn't looked the best in the last 2 weeks. A lot of his passes have been very short dump-offs or 5-yard in routes. A guy like Rome Odunze has not had the same kind of production that we saw through the first 4 weeks. So I understand the weather's changing in Chicago, and some of these home games, whether it's in Washington or whether it was in Chicago, can get kind of ugly and a little bit dicey. But you really need to play well in those conditions. You really need to play well at this portion of the season, especially if you hope to host game in the playoffs, right?
Sure.
Like you don't want to be going on the road. You want to be playing on your home field. And if that's the case, I really need Caleb to figure it out. And I don't think he's holding the ball too long because I just think that he's not decisive in his decision making. There was a play last week to DJ Moore where he was going open, and if you just throw it out there before he turns, you got him. Mm-hmm. But if you're not going to take that and throw that out there, if you're too afraid of having turnovers, I think that can also kind of hold you back a little bit. But I like the way the Bears have played, and I think they've made a lot of progress in a lot of other facets that needed to be better.
I think it's one of those situations where Caleb Williams is probably still learning this offense and kind of figuring out, because I mean, he got just destroyed last year. He was one of the offensive line was terrible. So there's probably some, things that he had to kind of throw out and be like, you know what, that was just last year. But, those types of things stick around with you. And learning a new offense, maybe things aren't quite as clicky as possible, but it's a lot easier to fix those things when you're winning football games versus when you're losing them. So a little bit of a homer pick, sure, but it makes sense. We did talk about it, like you said. I mean, if they would have lost to the Saints, this would have been such a Bears thing to do over the last 3 or 4 years, to lose to the Saints at home as favorites after winning that big game they did the week prior. So, yeah, I'll give it to you. Good. All right, who's your bat?
And really quick, just to add to that, and I'll get to the bad. I figured someone would take the Patriots, so I like to branch out a little bit. And another thing, Romo Dunze is actually at fault for that Caleb interception. He should have came to the ball. He was falling back, so his stats would have looked better with that, and then also that Colston Loveland penalty where he got called for the pick when he was already standing there for 10 seconds. That negated a big play. But yes, that is the end of my homerism right there. But I agree, V, ultimately that yes, he needs to look better. And SPJ, you're also right that yes, it is still a process under this new offense. So that wraps up the good. The bad, we already touched on it. I'll rant a little further. V had the ugly, completely fair with the Raiders. I got a different team for ugly, so I put the Raiders as bad. They're just, they're a bad team. I mean, it's an utter failure with this experiment with Geno Smith coming into the mix, which you're right. Like, using that draft pick on it was just terrible in hindsight. In the moment, you're like, yeah, sure, but it was still just so dumb because you actually think Geno Smith's a playoff winning caliber quarterback. Like, you're just going to be stuck in purgatory. It reminds me, and I love using this example because it applies so much when like the Bulls brought over Dwayne Wade past his prime, Rajon Rondo past his prime, just to sell tickets to be somewhat competitive. And that's exactly what they did. And that's that. I mean, you're not going to win a championship, but you're spending this money just to put butts in the seats. And that's kind of what the Raiders did. And I remember when people were flirting with the idea of Pete Carroll coming to the Bears as head coach and Bill Belichick, but Pete Carroll especially, I was like, what a dumb idea. I mean, this guy's clearly just way beyond his best coaching years. And fine, go to Las Vegas, make a fool out of yourself. So be it. Great guy, energy. He's 90 years old and he still has a lot of energy. Good for him. It doesn't result in wins. Ugly team. I know we already touched on it. So if you guys want to add anything else, feel free. But I mean, I don't know what the hell they were expecting to happen in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The Carroll hire makes no sense. I understand you know ball and you got it, but like 90 years old, man. There's just some positions that you might just be too old for, you know?
All right. Well, there's your bad. Who's your ugly?
All right. My ugly is the Jets. Jets. Jets are just freaking terrible. And Justin Fields specifically. How the hell do you get benched against the Carolina Panthers? Do you know how bad you have to be to get benched against the Carolina Panthers? You actually have to try to do that. Fair enough, but look, they scored 13 points in that game. I mean, the Panthers were practically begging them to get into this game as much as they could. Aaron Glenn is an absolute terrible coaching hire. That much is evident. 0-7. It was at the point where it's like, you know what? You give him the benefit of the doubt. First year, Jets are a crappy organization. Defense looks a little worse. Justin Fields, no. Now it's like fireable in the offseason with how atrocious his team has been. And again, the Panthers, yes, they're on the incline. I get it, but it's still the Panthers, man. And they played bad in that game too. This is the end of the road for Justin Fields as a starter officially. It has to be. Yeah, I mean, the Jets suck, man.
You guys, we talked about this.
That's it. Go ahead, SPJ.
They're just bad. Do you guys, we don't have time to go super deep into this, but we talked about this. I can't remember if it was on Betspresso or Any Given Wager, Danny. Do you guys think that they'll fire Aaron Glenn before he gets through first season?
I think it'll be in the off season.
Yeah, I think you make yourself look inept if you do it in the middle of the season too. You know what I mean? Like that's the big thing too that these billionaires are always worried about. Like you make a mistake, but admitting that mistake that might take maybe a season and a half. We'll see.
Just disaster. This is a new Saquon. Hey man, Garrick, shout out your team, man. 3 in a row, regardless in the NFL, is a good feat. So shout out the Panthers. All right, agree with all those good ones, boys. Good ones. We didn't cross over too much. V stole my good, so I had to kind of come up with one on the fly. It would be very obvious for me to say the Patriots, but the Patriots were supposed to and absolutely did dog walk the Titans as they should have. My good. I think the Colts are back, baby. The Colts are legit. I was very high on the Chargers this weekend. I thought that they were going to get the job done. It was always the Colts. This offense is doing historic things right now. I mean, better than the perfect Patriots. That offense is on an efficiency level that is unheard of. Jonathan Taylor, in my opinion, should and is in the MVP conversation. He has been spectacular for this team, and it absolutely pains me to say that this team looks like they might actually be legit Super Bowl contenders. So I think the Colts are really good, boys. I know we've talked about it quite a few times, but this was the last little moment of me going, all right, I'm in. This team's good.
I have been high on this team since after their, I think, week 2 win. I think that's when I was like, all right, this team is some for real. The offensive line, and I think that's something that slept on so often is the play of offensive and defensive lines. That is something they have done so well to protect Daniel Jones. Not just that, but open up the running lanes. There's a reason we see running backs and quarterbacks buying their offensive lines lavish gifts in the offseason because they know where their bread is buttered. It's by these big men up front, and that's exactly why we're seeing so many young guys have such a tough time. What's the biggest change the Pats made in the offseason? They brought in Will Campbell, and he is thriving on that offensive line. Drake May has looked even better. I'm in on the Colts. I've been in on the Colts, and Danny Dimes might actually be the MVP, boys, if this keeps going the way it is.
We talked about this Colts team numerous times in terms of what kind of pedigree we labeled with them, right? We thought they were fraudulent. Well, I guess it started off, we thought they were bad. Then we thought they were fraudulent. And then they earned my respect. And yes, you can put them as a very good team. I will not put them as a Super Bowl contender, though. I think their ceiling is winning one playoff game at best. They can be regular season heroes. And it's not to knock anything that they're doing or lack thereof. It's just you don't really have a group that's played together that long. Like, this is a really tough feat for them to try to just put it all together in the postseason in a really difficult AFC. Now, they may get the benefit if somehow like the Baltimore Ravens miss the postseason. I mean, obviously that could be an issue for them, but you still have to get past a team presumably in the Buffalo Bills, right? You still have the Chiefs there. You have the Chargers there potentially. And then, the Patriots are playing their butts off too, arguably as good. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, statistically not as good, but right there with the Colts are the New England Patriots. So it's still a gauntlet to work through. I think their Super Bowl would be winning one playoff. Not Super Bowl for them celebrating, but like their ceiling to me is winning one playoff game. I think that's about as far as they can get. But again, props to them. They've been outstanding and proven everyone wrong.
As somebody who bet the Chargers yesterday, I was very frustrated by watching the bits and pieces of that game. And as you so rightfully tweeted, Danny, the Chargers, y'all just need to burn those mustard jerseys. Yeah. Just get them out of here, man. Playing like that and wearing those jerseys is a terrible combination.
Bro, they're not belt to ass in those jerseys, man.
Those jerseys, just awful. Speaking of awful, this one might be a little interesting. So let's see what you guys think about this. The bad for me is the Broncos. I know
thought you were maybe going to say them too.
I know they won the game yesterday, but you got blanked by the Giants for 3 quarters. Your offense looked absolutely inept. And if not for a terrible Jackson Dart interception and 2 missing extra points, you're losing to the Giants. Now, the Giants look frisky and Dart looks pretty fun. So, this is not a terrible, terrible team. But a lot of people were thinking that this team had pretty deep playoff aspirations. And in my opinion, I just don't think that this team has that. I know they won yesterday. They're 5-2. Congratulations. Their schedule is not very good. I do not think Bo Nix is a proper, legit, elite franchise quarterback. And I think that they're a bad team. I think that it will eventually come out later this season that they either end up making the wild card and they lose in the first round, or they just randomly fall out of the playoffs near the end of the season and fall apart. So I'm not high on this team. I think yesterday, congrats. You got the job done. Well done. But I just don't think that this team is actually very good.
Devil's advocate, the kind of resolve that it takes to come back 19-0 in a single quarter.
Sure.
To score 33 points in a single quarter. I know that a lot of things had to go their way, but I don't know, man. That was the defense. The defense is great. The defense. And I think that's also why the Giants played so well in that game. The defensive line on that side too. You've got all of these guys on both sides of the ball kind of attacking the quarterback. And if you can do that at a high level, you can win almost any game. And I think that's what the Giants have shown too. Do I think the Broncos are good? No. But I just wanted to fuck with you a little bit.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Danny?
Yeah, SPJ and I are in agreement here. Him and I have been very vocal about not buying into the hype of Bo Nix from preseason to now everybody's fantasy football darling. And okay, if you didn't watch the game, people are going to look back and go, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns. What are you talking about? This guy played amazing. He didn't. There was a red zone trip where he just looked like he had never thrown a football before. And partially that was the issue of Sean Payton's play calling. And yes, you always got to tip your cap if a team can come back in that type of environment. And I was rooting for them because the second leg of my parlay is the Lions that I paired with the Broncos. But that I would argue says more about the Giants than it does the Broncos. And I talked about this this morning, SPJ and V. I don't know if you were listening at that point, but I took the Giants under their win total of 5.5, and I thought they would be a very competitive, scrappy team once they put Jackson Dart in the mix. But I thought that they would cover more numbers and win games outright because they would have an inability to finish. And that's exactly what happened in yesterday's game. And I think that could be a common theme. They'll probably be a little bit better than I envisioned. But again, I think that has more to say about the G-men than me finally rallying around this Broncos team. No. They absolutely did not deserve to win that game. And yeah, I mean, look, again, credit to them. But Bo Nix, I mean, his rushing was the reason that they were able to stay in it. And the luck of Cortland Sutton with a great catch. And then I forget who caught the last one to get in the field goal range or close to.
Franklin.
That was freaking lucky as hell, too. I mean, that's
what which was sick. That was nice. I will also say this, though. Do you think, though, that there's a part, like, just to talk about the Broncos, like, is there a factor here where Sean Payton isn't used to having a quarterback like Bo Nix with his athleticism, his maneuverability in the pocket, and then his escapability? Right. That's the thing I think he hasn't really played with. He had Russell Wilson here last year. Didn't work out. Now that 2 years ago, now that Bo Nix is kind of playing like, well, you kind of saw that kind of switch in that fourth quarter. Bo Nix is all of a sudden scrambled for 2 touchdowns, especially the second one. That one was I think it was like a 17 or 18 yard scramble.
Run.
Right.
It was a design run. Yeah.
Maybe he's starting to figure it out.
I just think that their defense is elite, so they're going to win games. They're 5-2. I mean, I can't. It's hard to say a 5-2 team is bad. They should be 5. They could be 4-4.
I said Steelers are bad. They got a winning record too.
Yeah, this is just what you're seeing with your eyeballs. Last one for me, ugly, because we got to get to this game, boys. We got 2 games tonight. We're going to talk about. We've been almost 45 minutes into the show. Well, Colby gave you guys baseball to start, so we have sniffed some bets. But 2 massive Monday Night Football games tonight. I'm not going to spend time on this. The Dolphins are terrible, nice and ugly, just disgusting. One of the worst teams in football. That contract might go down as even worse than the Deshaun Watson contract, as when it's all said and done. Or maybe not worse, but in the same ballpark at least. The Fins suck, and I don't think it's going to get any better. So, any thoughts on the Fins before we move on?
You got to feel like Mike McDaniels wants to be fired with the way he's just putting 2 out there again. At least Dable had, he's like, yo, switch it up. We got to do something.
The funny thing was they put Ewers out there near the end because they were already getting their asses kicked, and he didn't even help him really. He just kind of shoved him off, and I don't know. I just don't think he's a head coach, and I think they're going to wait till the end of the season and then move on. But he's going to be an offensive coordinator somewhere and be fine.
He'll be great as an OC. Yeah, some guys are just better. It's the Cliff Kingsbury type of thing. But I will say, again, I don't think he's necessarily a leader of men in that regard, but who would be doing a better job with this Dolphins team? I just think their defense is so bad. They don't stand a chance. And we know the limits of Tua Tagovailoa, who can occasionally have good games, but more often than not, he's vulnerable, man. So I don't know if it's more of an indictment on the team or him. It's certainly a combination of both, but I mean, man, that team just stinks.
We don't have time to go deep into this because this is more like football, general managing, organizational stuff. But the Dolphins decided that they wanted McDaniel as their head coach to be kind of an offensive, sexy team. They got Tua, and then what was that season? They led the entire NFL in offense and stuff like that. Tua looked like just an elite pro level, all pro quarterback, and they kind of bought in on the fact that was something. So then they started to construct their roster completely around that and that idea, right? Which now, as 2 or 3 years down the road, is not sustainable in the NFL anymore. Right. And you're seeing the ramifications of that. And they've got so much dead cat money now sitting on Tua's situation. You got an aging 31-year-old half-leg Tyreek Hill. It's not going to be back until next year. And then you got Jalen Waddle to deal with too. So, yeah, this team's a mess, top to bottom. So
Achan's probably going to want to get a contract going too. That kid's a stud. So.
Hey, man, somebody's going to go be a running back for the Chiefs at some point this season. Look out. I don't know if it's Achan or Kamara or Brees. Yeah, he could dip out from terrible Meadowlands before anyway. All right, there you go, chat. There's the good, the bad, the ugly. We could probably spend another hour just talking about football from yesterday because there were some films yesterday for sure. But we got 2 games tonight that are hopefully going to be just as exciting. Let's start off with the first one. Head-to-head, we're going 2 games tonight, boys, and they're back-to-back, which I actually really like. I like having football for 5.5 hours versus the 3.5, and I'm dividing my attention. But the first one, Baker Mayfield and company traveling to Motor City to take on Jared Goff and the Lions. 6-point Favorites are Detroit Lions right now, as we're looking at it. The over-under set at 53 flat. It's kind of popped around between 53 and 54 throughout the day. Sauceman, I know you wrote about this game, so I'll let you kind of tee us up first here. What are we kind of looking at from a side perspective, total? What are you kind of seeing with this one before we kind of all jump in and talk about some props?
Two of the most potent offenses in the NFL. The Lions have looked fantastic. They've scored 33 plus points in 4 of their 6 games this season. At home, they're averaging well over 40 points per game. And this is a Buccaneers team that is not bad defensively, but they're also not great defensively. Their linebacking core, both Levante David and the other guy, Davis, and over there have been really poor in coverage. And then not to just that, but you have Vita Vea kind of clogging up the middle. So I think the Lions are going to be really open to passing the ball. Another stat that kind of makes me lead that way is how good Jared Goff has been at home. He loves playing at Ford Field. He's got 7 touchdowns in just 2 games here at Ford Field this season, whereas he's got 7 touchdowns in 4 games across the rest of the season. This goes back to last year, goes back to his entire career here in Detroit. I think he's got, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but almost double the amount of touchdowns, and his touchdown to interception ratio is what really stands out to me. On the other side, you've got Baker Mayfield and a Bucs offense that we thought was going to be really, really banged up, but Mike Evans is back in the lineup. Emeka Egbuka is now going to be playing and giving it a try today too. I don't know how that's going to look, but again, these hamstring injuries, it's very much of a case-by-case thing. Who knows how bad anyone's strain is? I do think it's a little bit early for him to be coming back right away, but I also do think that this is a Buccaneers offense and a game that matters a shit ton. You have the 5-1 Buccaneers against the 4-2 Lions, and this is the kind of thing that's going to decide seeding later on in the season when you have 2 of the NFC's top 2 teams looking to meet in the 2nd or maybe 3rd round of the NFL playoffs. This is a situation where this game matters a shit ton, and I'm expecting a type of like postseason type environment tonight at Ford Field.
Yeah, going to be a really good game between 2 teams. Like you said, high-powered offenses. The total is something that has been talked about quite a bit. Colby talked about it earlier as he likes the over in this game. I was kind of leaning under when I was looking at it earlier. We kind of talked about this a little bit on Any Given Wager a little bit earlier, Danny. What is kind of got any more thoughts based upon what we saw earlier today with some of the line moves and some of the injury information we've had come out this afternoon?
I am just appalled that Egbuka is playing in this game. I mean, this kind of ticks me off in a sense of like getting stuff ready for like DFS. Now I got to rerun some things and, just overall outlooks a little bit, but not too crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, is it going to be, and the thing we don't know, is it going to be 100% Egbuka? Are they going to keep him a little bit contained? Is it something to throw some, who the heck knows what's going to happen? But regardless of him playing, I've still held this belief that Tampa Bay is the luckiest team in the NFL. And you can see that is evident by their win margin, right? And you mentioned their defense, V, and they are very susceptible on that side of the ball. They're allowing 5.7 yards per play over their last 3 games. They're 22nd in success rate allowed, 29th in dropback success rate, and 23rd in dropback EPA. Now, they are pretty good against the run, but what we talked about this morning is some of the competition they played against outside of the Falcons in week 1 and Christian McCaffrey last week. They had like no good running offenses. I mean, it was like the Jets were one of them in one spot, and then the Texans in another, who are dead last in rush success rate. So there are a lot of teams who just don't have good ground attacks. So while I think that is the stronger part of their defense for Tampa Bay, I don't think it's good as statistically what we've been seeing. And yeah, I do think, and we could all talk about bounce back, this or that, but it's not even that as much as it's like, yeah, sure. Okay. Last week they lost double digits. So be it. I mean, that was such a bigger game for Kansas City than it was for Detroit. After that, I went and wrote an article about taking the Lions to win the NFC conference just because I think they are the best team. And I didn't think they would be, because I thought missing both coordinators would hurt them. But yeah, guys, I love the Lions here. They're filling out the second leg of my money line parlay with the Broncos, and then I need the Lions. But if you got them at -5 in the hook, or you're able to, I still think that's a go. I think Detroit absolutely pummels this fortunate team that is Tampa Bay. And I also took K-Dot over 3.5 receptions. Again, the Egbuka thing, how much will that impact it? Hopefully not too much. Lions allowed about 5 receptions to opposing tight ends, over 50 receiving yards per game. Otten's been getting propped up the last few with those injuries, getting 4 receptions on 5 targets per contest. So just hoping it doesn't get negatively impacted with Egbuka coming in. But that's the other play that I've got, SPJ, is that K-Dot and receptions prop.
Just to talk about the other side, because I know everybody around here always thinks we agree on everything, but I am on the other side. I am on the +6. I hope you get the money line for your parlay. But just everything you said is 100% correct, right? The margin of victory for the Buccaneers has not been by much. But yes, maybe that's luck. Maybe that's just Baker Mayfield. In 4 of their 5 wins this season, he has led a game-winning drive on the last possession or the last 2 possessions of the game. He has done this countless times. It's what we have come to know this guy for. He's not only that, but he's getting his number 1 weapon, Mike Evans, back. A guy who is destined to finish with another 1,000-yard season this year because it's already written in the stars. It has to happen. It's going to happen. And that's why I'm all over him today. But just to talk about this Bucs team, the defense has not been good in terms of the linebacking position, but Jamel Dean is the number 1 graded coverage cornerback this year. I think he's going to have a tough matchup today. Obviously, on the other side of the ball, you got Ramon Ra and Jameson Williams. But this is a defense that I think in the secondary, it's one of their strengths. I do think that on the defensive line, Vita Vea is going to make it very hard for them to kind of run up the middle the way they like to do. And lastly, I do think that this is a Bucs team that is just ready for the moment. I know that the Lions have been really good, but if you're looking at the Lions opponents, who have they really beaten? They have losses against the Chiefs and the Packers. Those are the only 2 teams with winning records that they've currently beat. They gave up 24 points to the Bengals, 30 points to the Ravens, another team that we know has not really looked good whatsoever this year. This is a spot where I think the Bucs have won some really close games against some better competition, whereas the Lions have kind of faded against good competition this year. That's kind of why I'm sitting where I'm at. But again, it's always hard to fade Dan Campbell and this Lions offense.
I think it's going to be a good game. I think that's what we can agree on specifically. I know Danny's kind of leaning into more of the fact that the Lions. But see, the thing about Danny in this situation, though, I've heard this all since pretty much the beginning of the season. You haven't believed in the Buccaneers from jump,
right?
So them getting lucky, I feel like, is just starting to piss you off now by the fact that they're keep winning these games.
And look, it's like I completely respect Baker, and he is worthy of the MVP conversation. If you ended the season today, he's absolutely warranted getting it. I just don't think. I mean, it's clearly not sustainable. We see this all the time. And almost kind of playing into like that Chiefs and Lions game last point here, where it's like we look at that, we're like, yeah, it's not surprising Kansas City ended up putting the belt down. I mean, it was a huge game to them in the rocky season they had. But now you're the Lions coming off that loss. And if you lose to this Bucs team at home, then it starts getting a little worrisome in a tough NFC North right now, right? I mean, not that the Bears are going to win it, but obviously they're being competitive. And then we know that V's Packers are still hanging on and, they're still winning despite how ugly it looks. So this is a must-have game for Detroit. The Bucs can go away and lose this after Atlanta lost last night, knowing the injuries they dealt with, and go, you know what? That's a tough game. It's Detroit on the road primetime. It's a respectable loss there. So be it. But yeah, sorry, Suck. I mean, I know, I knew you were going to hate me once I saw you in the comments, but I don't want to say, I'm not going to say anymore, but yeah, I just,
let's say you like put the shovel down, bro. Put it down.
All I was going to say is, because I know I'm going to look like an idiot if it doesn't come through, but I would consider outlining the Lions like 13.5 too, or even like 12.5 or something like that potentially.
Wanted to pick the shovel up and dig deeper. Fair enough. Okay. That's fine.
The thing does throw a wrench into the mix a tad bit, though, I will say.
A little
banged up line secondary. That's the issue too. So, but I'm still high. Don't worry.
Goats are muted. For that, you have to wait for me now. I have 2 props. Yeah. I have 2 props to talk about in this game. I talked about it a little bit earlier. One's chalky and one's a little bit more. You don't want to bet this with me, chat, but we'll get there. First one, I'm betting on Amon-Ra today. Amon-Ra over 75.5 receiving yards. The line is up to 77, 78, 79.5, depending on where you're shopping. Don't really care. It could come into play because he doesn't normally soar over this number, but I really like Amon-Ra tonight. Double-digit targets in back-to-back games. He had a really good game against the Chiefs in a target perspective, but only had 45 yards. I think that he's going to be able to take advantage of this Buccaneers secondary today, and I think Jared Goff's going to be getting him the football early and often. Also, primetime players, scored a touchdown in 3 straight Monday Night Footballs. I know our friend Trizzy's on his touchdown based on that. He's also scored – he likes it because he scored a touchdown last time he was on Monday night, and I looked into it further, and he scored a touchdown on 3 straight Monday Night Footballs. So if you like those types of angles, I don't hate Amon-Ra for a TD, but I like his yards at 75.5, and you can take it up to 80, 90, or even 100 in that situation. Second, it's nasty, but please ride this with me. Please ride this with me. You're not going to want to chat. If you don't want to, you can fade this. I saw somebody wanting to fade it. You can go ahead and fade it if you want, because this is going to be a sweat. Give me old 6'5" Jared Goff Not to throw, chat. You can take his passing yards if you want to. But I want those rushing yards. Give me over 1 rushing yard. Just a half. I need 1. A singular rushing yard for plus 120. Now, he had 7 last week against the Kansas City Chiefs on a singular rush, boys. 1 rush. He's usually good for a singular rush. And obviously, you have to deal with the fact that if they do go into victory formation at the end of this game, you'll be sweating if you got like a 3-yard run. But the Buccaneers are second worst in the NFL to receive or to rushing yards allowed to quarterbacks. Now, that is something that you can kind of chalk with a grain of salt a tiny bit on the fact of who they've played. But even guys who are terrible at running have gotten over their yards. Mac Jones, his line was 5.5, 13 rushing yards. CJ Stroud, not really super known for his rushing ability, 27 rushing yards. Jared Goff is usually good for a single scamper, and he usually goes way over it when he gets over. So if you want to take the 5+ for plus 200, I don't hate that either. But give me a half yard. Just give me a yard, Jared, on a third down. Something crazy. And if you're feeling really frisky, because Owen asked me to do this earlier, and I found my touchdown score that I like today.
Oh, let's go.
We're taking Jared Goff at 18-1. Jared Goff, 18-1 to score a touchdown. I know he almost scored last week, so everyone's probably going to be running, maybe thinking that it's going to happen this week, but I think that he has an opportunity for them to get down into the very end of the red zone on the 1-yard line or something, and him just, sneak it in or something like that. If you want to get incredibly spicy, plus 7,000 for the first touchdown. Just saying. So I did tap both of those buttons. It's a half unit on the touchdown and a quarter little sprinkle on the first, just for the vibes. So yeah, but I do like the over half rushing yard. Anytime I see a line like that, I have to take a stab. It's half a yard. I mean, come on now. So.
When SPJ talks anytime touchdown scores, we listen, baby.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. This is what's up. Thank you, MRD. We appreciate it. Yeah, he does. He has wheels. The facts, true. So does Jared Goff, though. 7 rushing yards against Kansas City. His line was a half. So let's get it. All right.
Funny, like, so does Jared Goff, 7 rushing yards.
So does Jared Goff with those 7.
Does that count as wheels?
Hey,
He could have walked 7 yards, I think. Look.
Probably waddled. Hey, watch him get it on the first drive.
I do like that, though. I would definitely rather be on your side. I'm riding with you, so.
Let's go. The touchdown's more just for fun. And Owen asked me earlier, and I actually looked into Goff a little bit further, and I actually don't hate that. So this is just something to move forward with, Chad, as you guys continue to watch these Bucs games. This is just something that they really struggle with. I don't know what it is defensively, but every single quarterback goes crazy running against them. I don't know if it's the way they play defense, if they play a lot of man or something like that, that just causes for them to know when to account. Even Jalen Hurts, who's known for running, went crazy. Even they probably had a spy on him. So it's one of those situations. You just got to find little holes in defenses and attack it where you can. So, all right. Anything else on this first game? And then we'll swing and talk about the second game. So, Thoughts, man, you're not muted anymore. Did you have another thought you wanted to say?
Yeah, a couple. 2, actually.
Okay.
Well, one's the same 2 players. Mike Evans, like I said, I'm taking him. I'm on the over 59.5 receiving yards. I like that line a lot. It's sitting at minus 120 now. I think you can still get it if you want it minus 110 at like 61.5. But like I said, Mike Evans is his number 1 target. He had 28 targets through 3 weeks. He hasn't hit this line in any of those games, but that's all because his catchable target rate wasn't as high as you would like. The thing is with Mike Evans is he's going to see a shit ton of targets. He's also going to see a shit ton of red zone targets. It's why I've taken his touchdown at plus 120. This is a guy who has missed the last 3 games and still leads the team in red zone targets. That's how vital that Mike Evans is. Like, this is exactly what they're going to be looking for. It's that jump ball once you get within goal to go. I'm taking the touchdown. I'm taking the over receiving yards. And then this one's a little bit spicy, but since we're talking about quarterbacks rushing and running and all this kind of stuff, I did take Baker at plus 700 to get into the end zone today. The thing is with Baker, last time he was here in Detroit, he ran it into the end zone. He got into the end zone. Not just that, but he is also one of the QBs that is ranked highest in terms of scramble rate when facing pressure. That is something this Detroit team does very well. They rank 6th in the league in pressure rate, and he's running on 16% of plays where he is pressured. You get there within 7 or 8 yards, broken play. Maybe we get Baker just running in for 1. And if he's close, he's not the type that's going to slide, right? He's going to try to get into the end zone, put his shoulder down. So I took him to get in the end zone for plus 700. That was a little bit spicy, yeah.
I like that. Man. Really quick, what do you think about him like over 3.5 or 4.5 rush attempts in the game? That was something I was kind of pondering too. Or are you just like only worried about him running toward the red zone mainly?
I like that too. I think that he's going to have some opportunities to run today too. I think also the lack of Bucky Irving in the backfield really kind of shuts off the run game. I know Rachaad White had his best game ever last week, but that was 66 yards on the ground, or the best game of the season. It's just he's not equating to the kind of production we were seeing from Bucky. So because of that, I think you got to pass more. The other reason I think you got to pass more, Danny, is because, like you said, they're missing 5 of their top defensive backs today. They're missing Kirby Joseph. Brian Branch is suspended, and then injuries all over. Terrion Arnold is not going to be playing for them today. They have guys that haven't seen significant snaps in a couple of years or at any point in the NFL so far. It's going to be a beat down defense that I think is going to have to, one, play a shit ton more zone than they're comfortable with, because we know the Lions run a shit ton of man. But when you're down that many men, you're going to run a lot more zone, especially with guys that haven't really played as many snaps. And I really think the Bucs are going to force them into 11 personnel just so that they have to match, get that extra cornerback out there on the field and really try to work them through the air. So I like it too. So I think he's just going to drop back more, maybe run more, and have a day that way.
I looked at Baker Mayfield to score the first touchdown as well.
I was kind of surprised you didn't say him. I thought maybe you would lean that way.
I was between him and Goff, but I went for Goff for the angle. So I'm going to take Mayfield as well, just to cover both my bases, because I did have a pretty strong feeling about that. It was the odds for him to score, I think, is a really nice value, like you mentioned. I was seeing plus 800, plus 700 right now. Let me see what the first is. It was pretty wild. I think it was 45-1 maybe, or something like that.
He had 3 rushing touchdowns all last season, chat. It's going to be a fucking sweat, right? But that's also why we're getting that price.
That's what these are the best ones are, though, man. Mm-hmm. As you mentioned, he scored against them last time, too.
Here in Detroit, too. You know what I mean? Ford Field, the environment, prime time. Oh, and the last thing, talking about guys that score on prime time, Mike Evans has scored in 8 of his 10 Monday Night Football games.
Yeah. So I said that earlier. I was gonna say that as well. I like that play for the plus money value too. All right, we got to get to the other game. We're a little well over time today, but I think chat's still having a good time. We got almost 1,000 of you watching this across the platforms. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the Betting News Network. Drop a dub if you're enjoying the analysis so far. First game starts here in 20 minutes, so we'll have to maybe do a parlay that doesn't include anything in the Bucs Lions game, because this game does start here in 20. But swing to the late night game. The Seattle Seahawks at home against the Houston Texans, over-under set at 41. DB, I know you wrote about this game, so go ahead and tee us off here. Which way are you leaning with this one, and what are you liking here?
Yeah, I'll try to keep it brief here. Obviously, there's a reason this total is low. Very respectable defenses. Houston's great against the pass, but they struggle against the run. The issue is Seattle doesn't know who the hell they want to be their starting running back. I guess they err a little bit toward the side of Charbonnet, but he has been wildly inconsistent, as has Kenneth Walker. But overall, Houston second in EPA, 8th in success rate defensively. Then you look at Seattle, opposite. I mean, they're great against the run, and Houston is atrocious with their run game, offensively speaking, dead last in rush success rate. So Nick Chubb, I considered him under 11.5 carries. He's splitting time with Woody Marks, and if you think they are going to trail and they can't get any ground attack going, I think that's a decent prop bet to consider. But Seattle, you look at where they struggle, though, defensively, is a little bit against the pass. 19th in dropback EPA, 27th in opponent completion percentage. Again, if you fall in line with thinking Seattle does have a good chance at winning this game, I think CJ Stroud should throw more based on the mismatch defensively, and because they'll be trailing and can't get any ground attack going. I would consider CJ Stroud over his completions. I think it was 21.5, 32.5 pass attempts. I ultimately didn't get there as a best bet because I do think it was set fairly appropriately, but I would still strongly lean toward the over, guys. But yeah, that's kind of how I see this game. Lower scoring, both offenses trying to take advantage of the other defense's weakness. Obviously, it's not saying anything outlandish, but in this game specifically, I think that's the emphasis of what we're going to get here. And it is going to be a gross type of sloppy game. And we were joking about it earlier, SPJ. I'm sure everybody is going to be a huge public play on Seattle. But metrically, Darnold first in adjusted EPA per play, success rate, top 5 in CPOE, and Stroud's not that bad, but his stats got padded because you played 2 of the worst defenses in the Titans and the Ravens. So the way I'm going to approach it is wait for an in-game spot with Seattle, hope to get them down below the key number 3, because this could easily fall right on 3. I don't see value laying right on the number with Seattle right now because of how good Houston's defense can be and extra time to prep. So that's my way of looking about it. I wish I had more official plays in this game, but just a lot of strong leans, unfortunately, guys.
I like everything that you said about Darnold. I think Darnold's been having a phenomenal year. And I think it's not being talked about enough, except if you're like honestly watching these grading videos, because he's been so good. He's good against the pressure. He is good in the pocket, and he has done a great job of putting the ball out there for his receivers to get. I think he's top 3 in passes of 20 plus yards, in completion rate, in completions and attempts. Like, he's more than willing to air it out, and he really favors his wide receivers playing on the outside here. We've seen it with JSN. Since the move of DK Metcalf, JSN has now slid to the outside. We're seeing Cooper Kupp on the inside. And I really think it's helped his game kind of open up. I think it's helped open up the entire offense. And I think Cooper Kupp kind of reaped the rewards of that last week. We saw that kind of connection maybe developing a little bit. So I like Seattle, I think, on the money line. I do think that this Houston team, yes, they've looked good for the last 2 weeks. And it's not even just like how bad their defense has been. We can't forget how bad this offensive line is in Houston. They have been absolutely horrendous. And one of the things that Seattle does so well is get to the quarterback, is put pressure and not allow a run game to kind of thrive. And I think that's exactly why we're going to see both Woody Marks and Nick Chubb have a tough time on the ground. And if that's the case, I just don't see CJ Stroud spending a whole lot of today upright and clean, so that has me a little bit suspect. I did take 2 touchdowns in this one. JSN, the one guy I talked about, his target rate really multiplies when facing the blitz. And as you know, the Texans' offense has looked sus, but the defensive line has been fantastic. Will Anderson
Really good,
Jr. has been like an animal. And this pass rush is 1, if not 2 in the league. So just because of that, JSN sees a big increase in his target rate just because he is the first read share on most of their offensive plays. So I took him to get in the end zone. And on the other side, I took Nico Collins. His target share is through the roof. You have no Christian Kirk either today, and his red zone target share has been there too. So give me Nico Collins. He only has 1 red zone touchdown this year that came last week, I think it was last week. The other ones have both been big plays. So I do think this is a situation where you get down and you need the 7, you go to your big-bodied wide receiver.
I mean, the Seahawks are 27th in the NFL receiving yards allowed. I was talking about this earlier, kind of like Nico's receiving yards too. I think he can have a nice game as long as the Texans offensive line can hold up a little bit. Hey, never can say that Shaggy Best does not bet overs, chat. I just want to say that there's overs and favorites. What could go wrong in this situation? I have 2 bets in this game. I'll keep it short and sweet before we kind of tap this off and cook a parlay and get out of here. I like the Seahawks. I'm on the 3. I think that they win this game. I do like them to cover as well. I wish I would get the 2.5, but I didn't want to pay the juice, so I just went straight for the 3. I think they win this game by a touchdown. The other one that I like is probably my favorite play of the entire slate is JSN. Now, I have ridden JSN's receiving yards a lot this season. I don't hate the number. It's a little bit higher than what it has been for good reason. He's absolutely cooked it. Mm-hmm. But my favorite is his over 25.5 longest reception. He has hit this in every single game this season. You guys kind of both touched on this with Darnold mentions as well. But anytime that JSN has gotten loose deep, Darnold has found him, whether it be on back shoulder throws or just designed deep bombs. 36 was the lowest receiving, longest reception that he's had in the Arizona game, which was that Thursday night football game. He actually did not go over his prop that game too of his actual yards. So I just like him to hit another big one. Another thing about this too, last point, is the Texans secondary is very good. Stingley Jr. is one of the best corners in football. However, they are susceptible to giving away chunk plays, giving it up deep a little bit. A lot of the main wide receiver 1s and wide receiver 2s against this team over the last 4 weeks have gone over their longest reception. Calvin Ridley, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter. So they've been giving it up in those regards, even though their defense is pretty elite on the outside. So I like JSN to have a big one. Do I think he can go over his yards? Yes, he's probably the best wide receiver in football right now from a statistical perspective. And I think that could happen again. But just to go a little bit of a different angle, if he has 5, like I said earlier, if he has 5 25-yard catches and he goes over his yards, I'm going to lose my mind. But I doubt it. So, all right, there's the breakdowns of both games tonight. We give you guys a lot of plays. There's stuff at bettingnews.com that you can go read from both of these gentlemen on some big, deeper dive into some data as well. We also talked about a lot of stuff with baseball earlier. We went way over just because we were having fun talking about baseball today, boys. But we got to get out of here and cook a parlay. Should we avoid the first game since it's starting here in 15 minutes?
I was going to say this. Let's do this. Real quick, off the dome, all of us pick 1 touchdown score from both games, and then anybody in chat will get that. That's it. Only in chat. And then we'll cook up a SGP for the late game.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to say that's our parlay. And I was saying, brother, you are obsessed with touchdown scores now.
Oh, I
You're
am,
just
but they've
obsessed.
also been my most profitable bet this season. I will say that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
One
Okay.
TD. One TD.
From both games? Like one from either
From
one?
either game. Like whatever comes to your dome.
Danny?
I'm going to go with my guy, Kate Otten, tonight. I think he has a big night.
Wow.
I
Okay.
love the fact that Danny got spicy right off the bat. I love that.
Okay.
With a
So
strong consideration of Dalton Schultz, but officially I'll go Kate Otten. Big on the tight ends.
I like that. I like that.
Big
Right
dumper
before
night.
national tight
Makes
end.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know what
sure.
I mean? In
Sure.
preparation.
Sauce man?
Give me I've got a lot of
From the
coin on
dome.
Mike.
From the dome. You got a lot of coin on Mike.
Yeah, I do. But honestly, I like it. Give me Mike. Let's go with Mike.
Mike? Okay.
Yep.
Mike Evans. And I got my third one. I said this one earlier. I haven't talked about it on here, so I'll say it here. Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet is mine. Wait, are we sticking in all in the same game, or can I do the second game too?
Yeah, we can do the second game too. I was gonna say should I alter it? Because we have two from the same team. Otten and Mike. Or let's just roll with it.
That's
There's apparently going to be a lot of points in that game, so who cares? All right, so those three legs is plus 18, 14. That's a little sprinkle. Just a little. That's just for you guys. That's not going anywhere. If it hits, it'll go everywhere. So that
I was gonna say, yes, people are saying it in the chat. The other, if we want to switch up, like Laporta would be my other option, I would say, on Detroit. But
I'm on Laporta as well. I am down to put Laporta in their little tight end action, and then we cap it off with Charbonnet.
So take Mike out and put Laporta in.
Yeah, it'll make it spicier too.
Hey man, this would be great content if we just totally fumbled the bag. If Mike Evans and Kate Laporta.
Hey, we'll blame chat this time.
Yeah, that's true.
But like just to talk, like Laporta's also a really good play today. The linebacking core, like I said, is really fucking bad. They're bad in coverage. They've given up 4 combined touchdowns already through just 6 games this year. So,
yep. Cade, AJ, Sam, Dalton. Remember, I said it. Okay, there you go. See, chat's going crazy now for all of these touchdown scores. Who was it? Laporta, John. Okay.
Plus, and you just know Charbonnet's going to slap because it's Kenneth Walker's birthday today, and everybody's taking that. And Zach Charbonnet's going to walk into the end zone, probably from 76 yards out.
That's tough, though. SPJ's got to respect the birthday score, though. That's a little scary.
Ooh.
No, the only reason I like that one was because it was my birthday too.
True.
I hate T-Law, so that was only for the birthday love. All right, there you go. So Kate Otten, Sam Laporta, Zach Charbonnet plus 2021. Bing bong. All right, now let's do the actual SGP. It's unfortunate why did they start it at 6:30? 6 o'clock is annoying, or 7 o'clock, I guess. Let's do just something from the. You know what? Actually, we can include stuff from this game that starts now. And chat, we're not going to post the parlay. It's just for you guys for tuning in. So there you go. That's what we're going to get. And we get to include stuff from this game now. We don't have to overthink it. Danny, favorite play from the first game?
Yeah, I guess I might as well stay with Kate Otten over 3.5 receptions. I mean, I wouldn't mind buying it down a little bit if the odds decrease now with Ibuka in. I don't, depending on what 3+ is.
Is that your favorite on the whole both games?
I mean, that's like my one official play outside of needing Detroit to complete the money line parlay. So that is the other ones I would consider would be like Rashad White under rushing attempts or the Nick Chubb under rushing attempts or Stroud completions. I don't know if you guys are passionate about any of those, but otherwise it would be Kate Otten.
I like the Otten play.
Yeah.
Let's go Otten. You like 3.5 for plus money? Or should we stick to the 3+?
I'm always the proponent if we're doing an SGP to play it a little safer. That's just me though.
Yeah, sure.
So I would do 3.
3. All right, 3+. Sauce man.
Give me.
He's going to say a play hasn't talked about.
No, Nico Collins receiving yards.
Okay, I can get behind that.
I kind of like that. Yeah.
Nico receiving yards. Let me see what the line is. And see, chat, you guys get the benefit. 73.5. You good with that?
Yep.
I'm I'm like debating in my head what the odds are of which one you're going to choose. If it's going to be the golf rushing or the JSN. I don't know which one's the favorite.
Hey,
but
you were starting to know me, Danny. Those are the two that I was thinking about. Do you guys want to sweat Jared Goff for 1 rushing yard for this parlay?
that would be kind of electric.
Holy, that would be very fucking electric. I'm down.
Chat's like, please don't.
It's also
Chat,
plus
would you
money.
guys? It is plus money. Chat, would you guys like to sweat out Jared Goff for a single rushing yard, or would you rather do JSN longest reception?
For a single rushing.
Just 1 yard, man.
Oh,
Watch him just not run the whole game. Screw it, we ride. Come on, B Dot, let's go. I'm gonna make you guys suffer with me.
I'm fucking with it. Let's get it.
All right, Jared Goff for 1. Hey, it went from plus 120 to my plus 100. All right, now
there you go. You're moving the number.
CLV, baby, come on now. All right, K Dot and 3 receptions. Jared Goff for a rushing yard. Nasty. Nico Collins over to 73.5 receiving yards. Do you want to add a 4th to make it 4? Want another one from the second game? Do you like the Seahawks? You guys just want to take Seahawks money line? Do you like the
I'm
Seahawks?
down to Seahawks money line. Yeah.
Or is
No.
that too? Look at his face. He hates it.
No, I'm just thinking like how terrible would it be if like the Seahawks money, like we hit everything and then the Seahawks money line's the one to sell it. Like that would be tough to swallow. But
yeah, sure. Do we like anything else in that game particularly? Or do we want to do the JSN play?
I would say JSN. Can you do the team total? I know we were talking about the Texans under their team total, but I don't know. That might be a little too out of left field.
What about the Lions team total? That was
I was
talked
trying
about.
to do 2 in each game.
I kind of like that too.
Oh yeah, okay. What about not Nico, but what about JSN yards?
Yeah, that's
We
fine.
could just take his yards. So
Yeah.
if I'm pissed off about the longest in the yards hitting, at least I have beans on that. That's fine. It is 85.5. Good Lord.
Jeez.
I
You
know,
get it
man.
down to like
80. 80's gonna
Hey,
be
his-
nasty.
Target share is monstrous. Like
Oh, it's I know, dude. It's insane. He's been awesome. 80 plus is minus 145. That's not bad.
let's get that.
Plus 770. Otten 3 catches, Goff for a rushing yard. Nico Collins over 73.5 receiving yards, and Jackson Smith and Jigba 80 plus receiving yards. Plus 770. That does the job.
we ride. Let's
Make
do
sure
it.
you guys get that in chat because we will be posting the slip after both are green later tonight.
Yeah, this one won't get posted on the timeline chat in honor of you guys hanging out with us until a little bit longer than normal. And this game's about to start. So lock it in. Have some fun. Jared Goff, first touchdown. Don't forget.
First touchdown.
Put a literally gumball on it. Good stuff, boys. And we went way over. Chad, thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us right here on the Betting News Network for your afternoon Betspresso to start off your Monday. Big announcement tomorrow. 4 shows back to back to back to back. We got 4 hours of content coming at you guys live tomorrow. The pickoff with Mr. Danny Burke and Colby Marcio to start off the day at 2:30 Eastern, 3:30 Eastern, the old college try, 4:30 Eastern, the return of the NBA, the All Sauce team. Myself, V, and Sook will be live with you guys for an hour breaking down both NBA games getting kicked off tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern. And then directly following that, 5:30 Eastern, me and Gretzky Betskys will be jumping into the ice hockey lab in Puckett. 4 hours on the Betting News Network tomorrow. Oh, we're going to have a full day. Vibes are high. Go follow DB on the social media machine at Danny Burke 5. Go follow Vsauce at Vsauce with 3 A's. Follow myself at Sweatpants Jesus. Go follow all of us across the Betting News Network at Your Betting News. Boys, you got anything else before we skedaddle?
Beautiful Monday, boys. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Best of luck, everybody. Enjoy the games.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy these 2 games tonight. You guys came to winners and you stayed for the vibes. We'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy, chat. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the
Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
about rolling.
What you gonna do?
Rolling.
What you gonna do?
Down in the rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit.
What you know about